Hi everyone, it is Cynthia the Intuitive Stitcher. Today is Thursday, it is October 23rd, and this is Flosstube number 64. So I want to welcome all of the newcomers to my channel and to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and to my newcomers, thank you for watching. Feel free to hit the subscribe button and like the video for me. And also comment, because I do read the comments. If ever I do not answer a comment, please let me know, because that would bother me. So let's get started. I know it's been quite some time, I think longer than normal. I was just moving around and I was with the dogs and my daughter's dogs and cats today. So there's a little bit of, and the shelter. So anyway, we'll get started. This first piece that I have is from Forest Embroidery, and I can't read that and I can't show you the pattern because I don't have a picture of it. I only have the pattern, and you've seen this before if you've been with me. This is pretty because it's all in blue colors, gold, so I like it a lot. It's not that big either. And I'm doing this on 18 count white Aida. I've always used Aida before I started to step outside the box. And I stepped outside the box with Grace Notes fabrics when I started going to her retreats. So yeah, that's when I started getting different linens and she dyes fabrics, and that's when I started to get fabric that was dyed. So on that piece, I do have a list for September. That's my calendar. I marked how many stitches I stitched, and I called this Blue Rhapsody, Blue House. I had 106 stitches on that one when I got it out for October, earlier in October. Okay, the next piece that I have is by Imaginating. It's called Green Christmas, and it says Merry Christmas with the bells. I look over here at my notes just so you know that I'm looking away. This is done on 14 count white Aida, and I'm using the green DMC thread 3818. It's not ironed, I'm sorry. I just have been so busy. I'll back it up. I'm hoping my granddaughter doesn't have soccer anymore. They just finished yesterday. So I will be a little bit more free with my time. So I'll be able to iron things and maybe have more floss tubes when I should, like maybe 2 weeks instead of 4 or 5. So this is Merry Christmas. And I started down here is the bell, which is, the bells are at the bottom. So that's what I started doing. And on Green Christmas, I have stitched, I should have written this down, but actually I did start my video and remembered my calendar with everything that I've done. And so I had to stop the video and restart it. I have 105 stitches on Imaginating Green Christmas. So that is that one. Put that down. I'm going to bend down because I dropped something. All right. The next piece that I worked on is Happy 4th of July Firework by Cross Stitching for Fun. I did have all of these out, but then it started to slide, so I put all this back into the project bags that I use and stack them upright instead of laying them flat so they wouldn't slide. This is the pattern. And I'll show you the piece and I'll show you the colors that I'm using. This is a Ukraine designer. Her name is Marina, M-A-R-Y-N-A. That's who I am. And she has different blues, and I didn't use, let me show you. I didn't go with the lighter blue. I used the dark blue, red, and white. You can see some of the light blue there. So these are the colors that I used. 321 for red, 820 for blue, and B5200. Those are the colors I used. Sorry, they're straggly. There we go. That's that one. And on that one, happy 4th of July firework, I did 103 stitches. This was part of the monthly magazine challenge, and we were to stitch 100 stitches. I chose to stitch 100 stitches on the projects each day. I didn't get all of them done, and that's okay because I don't put pressure on myself. So I did what I was able to do. The next piece I worked on is Spring Quaker Primrose Cottage. And I am using 28 count linen from Grace Notes Fabrics. It's called Rooted in Grace, and I'm using DMC 503. And this is it so far. It's DMC 503, Grace Notes Fabrics, Rooted in Grace. And Grace Notes Fabrics, Rooted in Grace. Let's see. Spring Quaker, I did 118 stitches. I have a stitch counter that I got at Grace Notes Fabrics retreat a few months ago. Someone gave out stitch counters, so I've been using that, and it's fun to use and see that you've actually done more stitches than what you thought. The next piece that I worked on is Wildwood Sampler, Victoria's Garden. You're just going to see notes on here about different fabrics that I could have used. So that is the name of the pattern. And I am doing this one at the bottom. And the blue that I'm using is 16 count Ada that I got from probably Michael's, and it was probably in my stash because Michael's always sometimes has a 40% off, and if it's not on sale I would pick up something. And so a lot of times I would pick up fabric or not DMC, but something, maybe hoops, something that was, you know, a little bit more money to use that 40% 50%. And that's where I am. I'm using all white. It's called Blank, B-L-A-N-C. And this is Wildwood Sampler, Victoria's Garden. And on this one, I did 103 stitches. The next piece is Forest Embroidery. It is Black Vintage Sampler. Forest Embroidery, Black Vintage Sampler. For this, I'm using white Ada, 16 count, and I'm using DMC 3799, which is not a total black color. It's, sorry, I'm still dropping things. It is, I would say, a lighter shade of black. Let me move this back a bit. And I'm sorry this is all wrinkled. This was a last minute because I knew I needed to post a video. So this is not ironed either. And that is my piece. Let me back up. This is Black Vintage Sampler. And I stitched 214 stitches. I stitched the gentleman, the man. So I did get pretty much done. And I had not gotten that out in a while, so that was nice to work on again. I'm thinking about doing a, it's not a board, it's where you put all your designs on like a roulette thing, and then you spin it, and then whatever it lands on is what you stitch. I did that once before, and I'm thinking about doing that again. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, the next piece I got out was Mini Dark Waters by Jessica Allain. A-L-L-A-I-N is the designer. And my stitchy friend Chris, who is in charge of our Stitch Along Winter Rose Manor, always tells me to get this out because this is going to be a gift from my grandchildren, my granddaughters, and my daughter. Because my daughter likes ships, and the mermaids are kind of favor my granddaughters. So this is a Heaven and Earth design. I'm using Easy Grid fabric, 25 count. It's still in the hoop because I keep it in the hoop. And I stitched 160 stitches because I just did not put it down. Now you're not going to be able to, you can't even see a design yet, but I'm getting down here into the lighter color. So I am over here, this area here. So I will be getting down to this hopefully soon in the ship. So that's where I am. That's a lot of stitches. So I'm happy about that. And I wrote that 160 stitches on a piece of paper. I should do that with them before I do a floss tube so that I'm not looking at my calendar and wasting some time. Okay, this one I had not had out in a while. It is from Twin Peak Primitives. This was a free pattern, and I don't know if it's still available. Elizabeth Bennet of Jane Austen. And I'll show you that. Let me look to see how many stitches I have on this one. I want to, hold on. I used these magnets here, and they hold my needle and also my fabric in place. I want to put paper behind it so you don't see any shadows. Well, you can, sometimes you can see through. Don't mind these because I just finished, I was working on this on Monday, Sunday and Monday, because I was with a group of stitchers. I didn't count it, and I'm going to tell you why. I stitched a few more rows going over. I fixed something in here because it was off. And it didn't matter that it was off because nobody would know, but I did pull some stitches out and I fixed this area here. Like I said, it didn't matter that I was off, but that bothered me. So I did stitch a few rows. I'm going to tell you why I don't have a count, because I look at my phone. I copied this from my phone because I'm going to show you how it came up when I printed it. That's how it came up. Like, I can't even see lines. But when I put it on my phone, when I downloaded the pattern, and when I looked at my phone at the pattern, I could see the lines. So I knew where I was. So I'm dropping everything. So that's why I didn't count stitches. And I was stitching with two other ladies on Monday. So that's what I got out, because I can stitch. I can go straight across. That's why I have this over here and this, because now I can just keep going across till I get to the end, back and forth. And now I'm going to have to, that's why I left my thread here. Now I'm going to be doing more of this outline so that I can keep stitching when I stitch with friends, because I don't have to pay attention. And I'm using anchor thread 0403. If you have any questions about any of these, just ask. I'll always have my email address in the description box, or you can always leave a comment. The last piece that I worked on is Winter Rose Manor. This is a stitch along that we're doing with a few friends of mine that we get together for different stitching events. They're local, and then there are a few stitchers online who have also joined in, who watch my Flosstube channel. Now, I will come to you at the end of October to let you know what we're going to be stitching for the month of November. So, I changed out colors, and I have a note here. I remembered to write it down. So this is Winter Rose Manor. Let me show you the whole thing. by Brenda Gervais. Oh, on Twin Peak Primitives, Elizabeth Bennet, I was using Antique White 18 count Ada. So this is Brenda Gervais. I got all the called for threads and fabric. So you'll see that I'm working on the R&R linen 36 count Brenda's Brew fabric. This one I am going to put on my board so I can tell you what I've done. Put it the right way. If you're working on it, if you're able to upload a photo in the comment section, do that so I can see, or send me an email so I can see your progress. And I like to see the different fabric that people are using, and some are using different threads. So if you're able to, you can always email me a picture of your Winter Rose Manor. And like I said, next week I'll post a Winter Rose Manor video to let you know what we're going to be doing in November. And Winter Rose Manor, I think I wrote down, maybe I didn't. I thought I did, but I don't have it here. Sometimes I write WRM for Winter Rose Manor, but I don't have it. Okay. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter because it's a stitch along. So here I am wasting some time. It's a stitch along, so I wasn't counting. That's why. Alrighty, so this is Winter Rose Manor. This is what we've done so far. I can come in closer. This white thing, I'm sorry, this white board folds in the middle, so that's not very good. You see the steps. I almost forgot there's back stitch on the steps. So I did the birds. Let me show you what I did. I think I'm going to fold this. I think I can do it without making too much of a mess. So the cardinals are done. We're done for October. This one, and this is the one I changed color on. Because of the linen color that I'm using, I know it's the called for, and I know the female cardinal is more gold than brown, but I had a hard time because the brown color that was called for blended too close to the called for linen, and I didn't care for that. So we stitched the birds, these flowers, and I have to look here because I can't see backwards, and the snowflakes. So this one and these two we stitched for October. And I will tell you what I used for the birds. It's not right, but I'm going to keep it. So for the brown bird, I used olive and not sage. Sage was called for. And I used hazelnut, not putty, because it was just too close to the color of the fabric. So it'll be okay. And once we do the house, I think it'll blend nicely. And maybe I should have thought of that before, because actually it would have made sense to use the colors, because now I just noticed I'm going to be using pink for the house. So the bird, it would have been okay to use, and I just did not. You see that? It would have been okay to use that brown. I did not ever give that a thought. Oh well, I guess you kind of learn, right, as you go along, but it'll be okay, I think. If I don't like it, I could always take those few stitches out and use the called for. We'll see what happens when I start the pink house. And I'm not sure when we're going to start the pink house. I know what we're doing for November, and I'll post that next week. But that in December, that would be Chris's call. See what she would like to stitch in December. So, and that's it. Now, I want to, oh, I need to put this in here. I don't want to leave my thread. Then I won't know which project the thread goes to. So that's it for that. Now I want to show you some things that I had done for Halloween. You know, I always think that I can't frame, and I can, because I used to frame my pieces, little pieces, not my big pieces, but I used to be able to do all of this, so I can do it again. And I do have projects that need to be finished, so I need to get started and do all that, like go see what I need as far as fabric and finishing. So it's winter coming, so you know, I usually don't go out, and maybe that's a good time to work on some finishes. This is from a magazine. I have this on my door when I don't get company, but sometimes I do. If anyone visits, they'll see this when they knock on my door. This I finished myself, and I'm going to show you the back because I did lace it. The frame is from probably the Dollar General's, and I think I got this black ribbon from Michael's. It could have been, and so I put a strip here of the black, a strip here, and then I made a bow and put a button on it. If you're interested, I will find the magazine. I know I have it written down in my closet where I keep my crafts, and I will let you know. If you're interested, I will let you know which magazine it came out of. I know it was the Just Cross Stitch magazine. And that's that. I like that. It's so pretty. And it didn't really take long. I enjoyed working on it. Another piece that I get out for Thanksgiving, this is from La-Di-Da, Pumpkins 3. This was professionally framed. There is a mistake on it, and I'm not going to point it out because I didn't realize it until after it was framed. So this is called Pumpkins 3 by La-Di-Da. Another piece that I have stitched many years ago is this piece. There we go. Let me back up. I got this fabric I bought at Joann's. I liked it because it looked like the moon and it's kind of shiny. This is black felt, I'm sure from Michael's. The buttons, I don't know where I got the buttons. And this is the design. This is felt. I cut felt to look like, they wanted it to be looking like leaves. And a crow. This is all back stitch. And the words. And then the top. This is muslin. The fabric is muslin. Let me back up. And this they wanted stitched. It was a pattern, so I did that along there, and they wanted this along here stitched. This is big, so it's really hard for me to hold up. And then what I did was I got this ribbon and these twigs at Michael's so I could hang it. Like that. And it goes behind me. So that's that piece. And I had an extra. What I did was I put this muslin, the plain muslin, over a light box, and I traced it, and then I stitched it. So, and I had done 2 of them, and my supervisor at work, she loves Halloween, and when I showed this to her, she said, "Oh, do you have one for me?" And I actually said, "Well, I do have another one sketched out on this muslin." So I actually made one for her. Same way, and she was thrilled with it. So I had done this a few years ago. So see, I can finish. I have to finish my pieces because I can do it. So I don't know, maybe it's an age thing that I think I can't do it anymore, but this proves that I can. So this weekend, it starts tomorrow, is a Grace Notes Fabric Stitching. Grace Notes Fabrics is close to me, and we have a group of ladies that we stitch together on, it's either the 3rd or 4th Sunday of the month. I think it's the 4th Sunday of the month we stitch at our local Wegmans. And so she's having a stitch-in, and this weekend starts tomorrow and Sunday. So I want to take pieces that I'm using her fabric. I haven't gone through anything yet, and I need to because I'm going to be there early tomorrow to help her set up. The stitching starts at noon, and it's at a hotel, so some people who might be driving a distance will stay over at the hotel. I drive back and forth, but it's only maybe 25, maybe close to 30 people who might be there. She keeps it very small. The big retreat is probably close to 200 people, maybe 150, 200 people. I'm not sure, but I don't know what I got on there. You know what? I don't know what this is that is green on my piece. Oh, it's on the other side, so we're good. Anyway, I'm going to take this with me. It's Poppy Creations Season of the Witch. So I took this pattern with me at the retreat a couple months ago, and I asked the ladies at my table what color I should use to stitch this on. So we looked at what Corinne always takes her fabrics there and for us to purchase, and one of the ladies said, get something green. So I bought Ada 18 count fabric called Sally. And you're probably not going to be able to, I think you can see it. It's different shades of green. So this is what I'm going to be using. I have it already ready to go. The piece is only 6 by 6 wide, 6.6 wide, 3.8 high. So it's not going to be a real big piece. So I already have that section there, like this is the center right there. So that's what that's where I'm gonna start stitching. So, and then I want to pick other pieces to take for the weekend, and see how that works out. And that's it. So I look up at the clock. So that's what I've done, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Like I said, soccer is over. If you want to say goodbye, that's fine. If you don't want to listen, I just have maybe a few minutes of updates. Soccer's finished. My granddaughter Claudia's last game, it was a playoff, was yesterday. So I had done the pickup thing from one school to take her to her soccer team, and then I went to the game because it was their last, and I knew it was a really tough team. So I went to that game, and they lost 1-0, but it was a good game. I'm glad it wasn't like 5-0 or 7 or 8-0. So they were exhausted, I'm sure. Because then she goes with the bus, the soccer bus, and then I leave because I drove there. So, and Maya is at Temple University in Philadelphia, and she's doing very well. She had 2 tests that she graded a 93 on one and a 97 on the other. One was biology and one was calculus. So she is having a great time, and I'm happy, very happy for her that she's having a great experience. And that's about it for me. I had gel shots in my knee, and I'm feeling it's great. It is great. I am so thankful. I see my doctor next week, and I'll tell him I don't need a total knee replacement because this worked. So, and he's going to say, yeah, okay. So I'm just being real careful about what I'm doing. My problem now is, I think because I was favoring that leg, I am having some problems with my hip, which has been in the past. But I'm going to do some exercises. I'll pull that up on probably YouTube because I was doing exercises years ago for my hip, so I'm sure I'll find something. The weather doesn't help. It's cold here in Pennsylvania, and as soon as the temperatures change and it gets cold, if you have arthritis, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just have to, do more exercises and keep that going. Tylenol works, and I'm glad that Tylenol works because that's what I use, and heat and ice. So, I'm plugging along, and I'm keeping busy, so it's all working out. I hope that all of you are doing well and that you're having fun stitching your pieces. Feel free to send me pictures of what you're stitching on because I do enjoy that. So you can use my email address to do that. I always like to see what everyone else is working on. So that's it. I have nothing else to say. I'll be back next week with a Winter Rose Manor update on what we will be stitching for November. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope the lighting is good. Lori from Once Upon a Stitch gave me a suggestion about where I could put my light. So I did that. And I did that last time and this time. So I hope that the lighting is better. Let me know if you see anything I see a shadow back here, but let me know. All right, thanks for joining me, and I hope that everyone has a great weekend and stay safe. Thank you. Bye.